friends, I'm here with Travis and we are continuing our Bible lesson this Sunday about the life of Daniel. We were learning last week about how Daniel had to pack up and move to Babylon with his friends. Do you guys remember that? And we talked about something about that. Do you remember what we talked about? That's right, that sometimes it's a little scary when we have to do new things, but we learn that God is always watching over us, no matter what. And it was something that Daniel and his friends learned as they went from what they knew to something new. They didn't know what was happening where they were going. It was totally brand new. It was something they had to learn and know that God was always watching over them. This is true. Yes, you talked about he had his little teddy bear that he took on his trip. It made him feel better to have something comfortable, something from home. We talked about that too. Well, when Daniel and his friends got to Babylon, they actually were going to school. I know, right? A lot of us are not in school yet, huh? Some of you are and some of you are not. But his friends had to go into a whole new experience and a whole new class and learn new things. One of the things, it was even a different language that they were learning. That it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to learn different languages. And they also were told to do certain things that actually didn't live up to what God had asked them to do. It had to do with food. God had said there were certain things they were not supposed to eat. And the people that were in charge of them said, hey, we want you to eat all these things and you're going to go grow big and strong and healthy. But the problem was those foods had been dedicated to false gods. They were not good. They had different thoughts and beliefs the people of Babylon did. And Daniel and his friends, they did not want to eat the stuff that was dedicated to the false gods. They wanted to only obey the real one true God, Jehovah. And so they said, hey, how about this? Let's do a test. He said, if we can eat what God tells us to eat and we can still be strong and healthy, will you just let us do what God's asking us to do? Yeah, that sounds like the very polite. They found a good way to go about it. They didn't panic and they didn't get scared because they knew God had a plan and God was watching over them. And as it turned out, they actually ended up getting stronger and healthier than the other people that ate the food that was supposed to be good for them. I know, right? That is an awesome thing. God not only has a plan, but he knows what he's doing. That was kind of a cool thing. Yeah, yes, there were berries. Yep, they did eat grains and berries. That was something that's healthy. You like those, huh? Yeah, he likes berries, especially blackberries. Yes, and yes. Yes, and honey and blackberries. So, friends, it's interesting that God's always watching over us, no matter what, even when things look scary and uncertain. And I know that some of you guys are starting to get ready to go back to school. Yeah, and some of you maybe have already been back in school and things look a little different. You're kind of wondering, what's it going to look like with my teacher in a mask? Or with a face guard on. I'm a teacher, and guess what? Yep, I have had a mask on as I'm teaching my kiddos at school. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. God's watching over us. I was a little scared myself having to teach a class with a mask on. I was wondering, what would they think? Would they be able to hear me and understand? You know what I found as I prayed and pray every morning with my kids? God's watching over us and he's taking care of all those little details. And as long as we're being faithful do what he's asking us to do and to serve and to love one another, I have to even trust, and you guys all have to trust, that God's got us in his hands and he's watching over us and he's got it under control. Our job is just to obey God. It's kind of simple when you yep, it is, huh? It's really simple when you put it in those terms. It's kind of makes it easy for us because we just have to obey God and obey what he's asking us to do, which is fun because it's to love one another. Yep. And be kind. It's good stuff that God's asking us to do. And he's watching over us. That was our memory verse. Do you remember what it was? I'm going to have to read it to make sure. Is that okay? Yes, I know. Sometimes my brain, it's a little fuzzy. I got lots of stuff going on up there. But it does say the Lord himself watches over us. God's watching over us. And that was in Psalms 121, 5. The Lord himself is watching over us. So friends, if you want, there's a coloring sheet attached that shows Daniel and his friends learning some stuff, learning a different language and reading, getting smarter. And if you want to copy that, get your parents to copy it, you can color it out. It's kind of a fun thing to do. It also has the memory verse on there. So I hope you guys have an amazing week. And just remember, when things look a little scary, God himself is watching over us and he will always be with us. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing week. Bye.